Now, for more on this, we are being joined by Imtiaz Ahmed. He is a professor of international relations at University of Dhaka. Welcome to the broadcast, Mr. Ahmed.
Yes, thank you.
You know, before we saw just calls, then we saw protests, and now we are seeing blockades across Bangladesh. Do you think there will come a point where Sheikh Hasina will agree to step down?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, mainly because the blockades and the protests have not been as effective as people or as the opposition would want. In Bangladesh politics, you need millions of people to come on the streets, and not only in Dhaka, but throughout Bangladesh. Now, that has not happened. We don't see millions of people on the streets. Yes, there has been, protest, but as I said, it has not been as effective as the opposition would want, or a kind of protest which would make the ruling party or the government think differently. So I think we will be heading for election as usual.
Right. Mr. Ahmed, Sheikh Hasina has been often called the daughter of democracy. But at the moment, the incumbent Prime Minister is facing a slew of allegations, and very serious ones. She has been accused of human rights abuses, suppressing free speech, allowing extrajudicial killings, and also disappearance of opposition leaders. Now, you are someone who has been born and brought up in Bangladesh. Can you tell us how much of these allegations are actually true?
Now, in Bangladesh or in the South Asian context, allegations against ruling regimes, they have always been of that kind. Yes, there are areas where there are deficit, no doubt. But that deficit you even see in some of the developed countries. Even in the United States, you see a serious human rights abuse, particularly when it comes to, Afro-American population and the minorities. Throughout South Asia, I would say that there has been issues with authoritarian structures, issues with minorities getting bashed, also human rights abuse. There are deficits, but one also need to see the other side of it, particularly when it comes to Bangladesh, the way Bangladesh has handled the pandemic, particularly COVID-19. A lot of people thought Bangladesh would not make it. At the same time, the Russian-Ukraine war, with all those things, kind of development and the growth. Yes, the growth has been, one would see, has benefited the rich more than the poor. But, we are living in capitalism. It's a capitalist world. So right. In that context, one can't say that there has not been any development. Some developments are spectacular.
Right. Mr. Ahmed, if we could focus now on the voters. The election date is set, of course. How are people of Bangladesh viewing this constant infighting and the polarization between the political parties?
You see, Bangladesh never had political stability. What we had for the first time since 2009 was regime stability. And one has to distinguish between political stability and regime stability. We never had political stability. Right after independence, there was political instability all through. So what we had is regime stability. Now, whether that would hold or not, one has to see on the election day, of course. But I think the ruling party and the government, they're also sensitive to the international attention. So I guess in the Westminster system, what you need is the participation of people, coming to the vote centers to vote. Now, if that can be ensured, I guess, the ruling party would say that we have succeeded in bringing, people to the polling booths. Now, whether that percentage would be high or low, I'm sure, the government, given the last two elections, the fair amount of criticism, so they probably would be more sensitive this time. So we have to wait and see. But I think the election will be held as usual, and we have to now see whether the opposition party, at least their members, would join the election or not. one can't rule that out.
That's the hope, Mr. Ahmed. Thank you so much for joining us here on Race to Power.
Thank you.